When the children woke up, they beg from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. for their breakfast, then come back for their lessons until midday. After begging for their lunch, they go learn until 5 p.m., then go into the bush to fetch grass for the sheep and find firewood for the fire. At 8 p.m., they go out again to beg for their dinner.
This is a Daara, or Quranic school, in Dakar, Senegal, a 94% Muslim country in West Africa. There are thousands of such schools across this region, where learning the Qur'an is considered a fundamental educational need. Most modern parents send their children to part-time, fee-paying Quranic schools as a supplement to formal education, but the minority of boys and girls aged between 3 and 15 who study, sleep and live in deprived workhouse-style Daaras are known as talibés. Sent far away from home by their parents, the children must beg on the streets and bring money and food back to the marabout or Quranic teacher in charge. They learn only the Qur'an, and by the time they're teenagers are unable to speak, read or write French, Senegal's official language. Umar Ben Khattab is from the children's charity Plan International.
Traditionally, these children were in the Daara to learn only the Quran before learning at 3. Nowadays, the practice is corrupted. The talibé is now a child who is in the street in a very difficult situation, incredibly vulnerable because mentally and physically he or she is deprived and often mistreated.
My name is Ali Diop. I'm 55. My parents sent me to a Daara when I was 5 years old. In the Daara, there were more than 120 talibés, and we lived in lean-to huts where the rain fell on us during the rainy season. If we couldn't recite our lesson, the marabout had a whip made out of tyres, and he used it to punish us, sometimes until our skin was completely ragged. We couldn't do anything because our parents were far away. I didn't see mine for 15 years.
No one knows how many girls and boys are currently living in Daaras in Senegal, but the issue is so pertinent to the social debate here that musicians regularly write songs about the talibé, such as this rap by Didier Awadi. Ami Sidioff, Director of Child Rights and Child Protection at the Ministry of Education in Dakar, estimates that 7% of children have dropped beneath the social and educational radar and are living either on the street or in a Daara.
There has not yet been an exhaustive report on the subject of the talibés. The problem is that Daaras have never been formally recognized or regulated as part of the Senegalese educational system, leaving thousands of private institutions run at the whim of the marabout in charge. Those who run them free are obliged to send them out begging in the street to find food.
Clusters of boys in ragged, dirty clothes are a common sight on Dakar's streets, shaking yellow bowls at passers-by. Girl talibé are often left behind in the Daara to cook and clean. At Hikma Daara in Louga, 3 hours northeast of the capital, the children sleep in a tiny, sombre room in a hut beneath a baobab tree. They recite the Quran between finding food. 12-year-old Pap and his friends Abdullah, Musa and Mohammed have just arrived back from their morning begging mission. They show the sugar lumps and biscuits dropped into their bowls.
This is where we all sleep. I'd like the Daara to be renovated because the rain gets in through the roof during the rainy season and I get really cold.
Plan International is supporting the introduction of formal education and better learning conditions to Daaras in Louga and Dakar. With government backing, the charity is advocating that Quranic schools must be given the means to modernise while keeping their core Quranic values and teachings intact. Conditions have been radically improved, and the new curricula include French, maths and PE. But it hasn't been easy, says Plan International's Umar Ben Khattab.
I remember going to one Daara where a parent stood up and said that introducing French into the Daara was like pouring a glass of blood into a bowl of milk. There were some very, very negative opinions about the project, and it is only with patience, communication, and time that we've slowly changed this way of thinking and got results.
At Daara Sheikh Musa Gay in the Gedewai area of Dakar, children are clean and best of all, they're smiling. Forward-looking marabouts such as Imam Keba Gay are now keen to continue with the project. His pupils say they aspire to be teachers, air hostesses and Le Président.
My name is Abdul Aziz. I've been at the Daara for 5 years and now I learn the Quran and French. I want to be President of the Republic so that I can make everything better for everyone and no one suffers. I'm going to study hard.
Thanks to the introduction of French to the Daaras, Abdou recently passed with flying colours the exam to enter into the 6e, a formal French school. Ami Sidioff said she would like all Daaras to look like this in the future. This is Jane Labous for Plan International in Dakar.
Je suis son alibi, il dort qui m'aide de mi, pendant qu'il s'aide de mi.